What's up, everybody? My name is Ntando Gwala, but they call me Ntando Gwals. Welcome to my channel. And pretty much this thing is just gonna be a creative platform for everyone, whoever help me help people out, let them know, if you want to promote your fashion or anything creative that you do, and you're a local artist or in Durban or wherever, we'll try and make a plan, link up, and then we'll make some content, So right now I'm with two people. They're both into fashion. I'm pretty sure you've seen these faces around. If you're in Durban local, you know these people. Well, I'm just gonna let them introduce themselves. I don't know who wants to go in first. But sure.
I'll go first. I'll go by Uyanda Gama. From Durban. Clean and simple. Yeah.
My turn.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up? It's your boy Stay in Paris. Fashion killer. Everyone knows it. Yeah, bro. I'm just happy to have this opportunity to showcase my work and also speak about the thing that's most dearest to me. So yeah, I appreciate it.
That's really dope, bro. I'm glad I could also do this, bro, because I'm also a big lover of fashion. So I don't know here in Durban, not that we're not recognized, but we could do more as a collective, and showcase our fashion. I know a lot of people. So, bro, well, I've been wanting to ask this question, bro. This question, bro, has just been on my mind, and I've been wanting to ask, bro, because there's always get thrown around a lot, bro. This screw word. You know what I'm referring to. Everyone knows what I'm referring to right now. This screw word. Okay. So, in your eyes, as two different individuals that do fashion and stuff, what is a screw?
Well, I guess it was just, if I had to define what screw is, I think it was just a collective of people that sort of had the same mindsets or style, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it I'm a 2000s. It was that group of people. So it sort of had a negative connotation to it. So people didn't want to be called screw. And I personally wouldn't want to be called a screw just for that.
To that type of.
Yeah, but if you really look at it, if you look deeper, these screws are our audience. These are the people we make shit for. You know what I mean?
They're the ones. For me personally, a screw is not necessarily a bad thing, because I feel like if you're a screw, that means you push it. Nowadays, if you're a screw, it's not like you style. It's a term of you're pushing the boundaries when you're wearing shit. When you're wearing all those bulletproof shit. Obviously these niggas don't understand what that is, but you have the vision, so you're pushing that boundary. You're trying to. Show these niggas yo, bruh, we got some other shit here.
Yeah, no, true.
So for me, a screw, even though it has a bad connotation to it, I understand why they call them screws. I don't even know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no.
But I think the word screw, it comes in when everybody's wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
When nobody's an individual. They don't dress according to what they like. It's so what's in now?
What's in now?
The Air Force is in. Let me get the Adidas. You see like that. Let me get the Kappa.
Thank you. Now that we're on this, there's a way to wear it.
Yeah.
You see, look, show this nigga right now. Okay, we took a few pictures earlier on, showcasing everything. Okay, so now you can see how this nigga wears his shit, bro.
And I think that's what offends designers or people, particularly designers, because it has to do with fashion. Because for instance, I always used to tell my friends in high school, yo, I really like the fillers. When filler came out, these guys were literally they collaborated with Cold Wall, and if you look at the runways, this is how this thing was supposed to be worn. But I guess if you look at screws, it's sort of it just became an everyday shoe where okay, you know what I mean?
Now it's no longer like that.
Yeah,
shoe.
so
It's just
I think that's the only aspect that I do not like. But you can't. Not everyone will think like you. Not everyone will be as creative as you two. Because if you speak to a lot of people, not everyone understands runway. It's I had to learn it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You have to learn. Let's break this down, bro. Okay, fashion is not fashion has a lot of aspects to it, right? There's like that fashion where runway, so runway fashion, high fashion type of shit where it's like designer and stuff like that. Then there's also streetwear, which is what usually people wear now, and like, you know, the Yeezys, you know, Jordans, Nikes, and sportswear. You see, there's also sportswear. There's multiple universes. But then the nice thing about fashion is you can take one piece from every single different, like, you know. Yeah, exactly. Like you can take that sportswear, like you can take some other shoes that are supposed to be sportswear, and then you mix it with like designer, and then it just looks perfectly. It just sits nicely, bro.
Kind of like mixing sneakers with formal wear. Exactly. You see that a lot right now. Yeah.
Like Alexander McQueen, then a nice suit. You know what I'm saying? It still looks like it's clean, bro. It's still clean, bro. So like with fashion, there's a lot of like room to do and to do a lot, bro, with fashion. That's why I like fashion personally. I don't think it's limited. It's literally limitless because it evolves, bro. And sometimes fashion's evolution is it going backwards. You know what I mean? So sometimes it going forward is it taking shit from back then, making it remixing it or bringing it back, you know, into something new. Exactly, bro. Like it's incorporating a lot of designs that are being done now. So then I also want to ask you another question, bro. It's about you personally. You two. What kind of fashion would you say that you are more into? What is your realm? What is your type of? What would you express your type of art? Because obviously fashions are art. So what would you like think? Where would you see yourself working or fit perfectly?
In terms of brand or
like in terms of like street fashion, high fashion, and then also brands in between those type of
I think in today a lot of high fashion is also within street fashion, but we definitely mix the two. I'd say I'm within that. I mix a bit of high fashion and street fashion, but not to the extent where the high fashion we're spending in the tens and 20s of thousands. You see, we try to keep it low, because I mean it's not exactly always about the name, but about the look. It's not about the look. So I'd say definitely high fashion and street fashion, to pull off like that whole sports aesthetic, like cool dad almost. I like that aesthetic, cool dad. So like that.
And then you, Saint, what would you say?
I think because like the fact that I'm studying fashion design at school, I sort of go deeper into this. So like I respect clothes. I really respect clothes. And if I had to look at it, couture will automatically come into the situation, no matter what it's got linked to, whether it's sportswear, whether it be menswear, women's wear, whether it be high fashion, streetwear. Reason why I say this is because there's so much technicality to couture, and that's sort of like that's what makes, like, if you're good at like mastering, for instance, patterns and things like this, it actually makes something more dynamic. So like I think similar to him, my goal will be to make like street couture. So it's streetwear, but it is high fashion to an extent that it causes you to look at certain elements of this. It's not just, oh shit, that's a dope sneaker. It's like, oh damn, look at the texture, look at how that thing is popping. It has like that 3D effect to it. Like if you look at Louis Vuitton, Virgil's like doing the most of that, bro. Like that nigga, like that guy literally had made a fiber optic bag, which shows that he's not thinking about just like the same lane. Like his recent like collection where like it looked like it had like a whole heaven scene where people were coming out of the cloud.
That was crazy.
Exactly. Like if you look at that, people would just be like, oh, that's dope fits. But if you look at the story behind it, he was literally redefining what work is. So I want people, like the area that I'm gonna go in is street couture, but I want people to think about clothes. I don't want it to just like pass by. It must have a deeper meaning. Same thing like music. I want to be like the Kendrick of fashion. Like it shouldn't just be okay, fine. Exactly. It shouldn't. Exactly. It shouldn't just be about like, oh, okay, we trapping to this clothes. It should actually be like, damn, this is deep. Like, what was he trying to like portray? Like every like I heard this documentary where like one of the guys, I think in Joburg, he was like, he considers himself a narrative designer because every
What would a narrative designer be for those who don't know? 'Cause I personally don't
okay,
know.
like a narrative designer basically is somebody that like uses clothes to tell a story. So like in that saying, it's like he wants to create clothes that have meaning, so they're timeless. That's what happens. If you have like, for instance, if I look at brands that for me will always stick, even when we 70, it will be here because of like the story is Kanye's clothes. Yeezy will always be there because of how he was able to portray like the storyline. We don't know the storyline, but there is something. There's something there that
like some people are like, oh, Yeezy's are this, but at the end of the day,
Exactly.
bottom line is Yeezy's always selling out.
Exactly.
Yeezy's always top 5 or top 3.
No, true, and it's a $1 billion business right now.
Exactly.
Like even Jaden Smith did that whole thing with the like Misfits, where it was like it was a society, and like like 3 years back, 3 years back, or even before that, when we were like grade 9, that was what we were fucking.
We were like,
everyone wanted to be a misfit, like, you know what I mean? That was what was popping. So like once there's a storyline to it, once there's meaning behind clothes, it lasts longer. That's like it won't just pass away. It'll be there.
I think personally why Yeezy will still be popping in the future is because it is the future, bro.
Exactly.
Like, I don't wanna care, bro. I think it's facts, bro.
Even Converse, people are still rocking.
Converse will never die.
People are still rocking Converse.
Air Force.
Converse,
Exactly.
yeah, that's silhouettes. Jordan, what's this?
Yeezy wants to be the new Jordan.
I feel like Vans as well. Vans as well.
No, Vans is like,
Vans as well.
once there's an aesthetic behind it, Vans is automatically associated with like skating.
Reebok also has the classics.
Reebok, like, you know what I mean? Reebok's trying. I respect what they're doing. I like that people are focusing on culture now in the brand. It's like, it's not just about, okay, let's just make shoes, even though like they like Nike personally just generates shoes every single day. I respect that, but like I like it when brands are like, okay, let's make classics. Let's take something like, designs that we started this brand with. You know what I mean? Like Converse was literally a basketball shoe when it started off. It was exactly. It was a basket. That's why it was able to stick, because basketball literally is like, a basketball shoe is so eternal. It's like, if you look at Jordan now, everybody, to a point that people feel like if you rock Jordans, you play better.
Exactly.
It's like it has that effect.
That effect, like,
exactly. It has.
Jordans right now, like Nike can make basketball shoes, Adidas make basketball. But everywhere
When you're wearing Jordans, it's like you automatically think.
I'm Michael Jordan right
Exactly.
now. Exactly.
That's why if you even look at it, it's like, even like, when Kobe died, it had such a huge like effect on basketball, and just like it had on just kids that grew up watching that thing. Just even to hit a swoosh now is not the same, because it's like
still that Kobe.
Exactly. So like I also respect what Nike is doing, where they're making shoes off the people. Because like once that person passes on, once that person retires, it's like you'll remember it. Like you still have that Kobe Bryant shoe, you still have that LeBron James shoe. It's like exactly, it becomes classics. Yeah, so that's we have to make timeless pieces, whether it be fashion, music, art. Make something that people actually want to see, want to listen to.
Alright, bro, so right now I want to do a few things, like just go into the mall and you show me what you guys might buy, what you guys are interested in. I want to see like more insights of what a day is like in Uyanda or Saints Day. Check in the closet or something. So let's go check that out.